I just say one sentence about the work that is shown. The main idea is because I was invited in 2013. I was there, wait, I want to record it. Uh, I was invited to, and I stayed there, and I really explore all this beautiful, interesting town in the middle of the Caucasus. And I went to all the archives and so on. And some years later, 1 year ago, they opened the historical museum. They asked me to do a work, and my work consists about all these monuments and photograph from the archive, everything from the past that exists in the layers of the town that I found on one side. I think this is the part that you are showing. And the other part is the everyday life, like footballs and restaurants, the streets, the food, and so on. This was the idea. But I just to finish this, uh, I want to make this citat of Italo Calvino that made me understand what was so exciting for me for doing this. This is from the book The Invisible Cities. Arriving to a new town city, the traveler finds again a past of his that he didn't have before. The foreignness of what you no longer possess. Life is waiting for you in the foreign, unpossessed places. And this is, I hope that because reading is always strange, but it's really, if you go into a town, even if it's in Vladikavkaz, which is very somewhere in the Caucasus mountain, and suddenly you feel so integrated, so like it's really part of you. So this is the one thing to this specific work. But usually I wrote I wrote some notes because I wanted to be consequent about my work. So my work is based on the concept that velocity is the most dominant and characteristic element of our time. Um, I was born in Tel Aviv, and after 40 years in Europe, in Vienna, in Rome, and in Berlin, I'm back to Israel. Um, I am Ingeborg. I can't say it enough. I'm not a photographer. I feel that I'm not a photographer. I'm an artist that uses photography to express ideas. And like I don't identify with. I even don't care about the photos if they are sharp or not. Um, I I take photos. My work is photos that I take along highways, airport, train station, uh, underground, and flights. My work is based on taking 100 permanently. Like I produce 300 images in a day, just going from one place to the other, but only in traveling or go or moving in the town. Taking hundreds of photos, selecting out of, let's say, 500 images, at least one image. My, my concept of choosing the image is not good or bad. It's about images that show the phenomenon of moving in velocity. This is important because I have photos that look great, but maybe for National Geographic, but they not for me. Uh, well, during the years, choosing, and like every day I'm working on it, I arrived to the understanding that the main concern in my work is about the moment, uh, the how to describe the one moment, what happens from the moment that we are physically seeing something to the moment that we are realizing what we see. And when we realize something, it's mostly, and that's why the taking images in speed is the possibility to show it. Because you take the image, the moment that you go in the highway and you see, for example, a big sloth, you want, you know in your consciousness that you see it static, but you don't see it the way that the eyes see it. You see it in speed. You see it in transformed. But our consciousness realizes something else. This is the point that lately it's the most important point in my work. So the moment that we are physically seeing an image and the moment that we realize that we saw it. And that's why a lot of my works and have this sentence which is fundamental, that which the eye doesn't know it sees. Because we see with our consciousness, and the camera helped me to see something that I didn't see, that only the camera can see, although the camera is also manipulated. The awareness of unawareness of perception. I have different approach how to express it artistically. The basic approach is the transformation of forms. I will hopefully succeed to share the screen. Another way to not to waste these images, these tons of images that I have, are this video, the 1,000 videos in which I make kind of inventory, and I'm showing 6,000 images. The idea is that when we see in my videos and you have 6,000 images in 12 minutes, you have like 8 images in 1 second. And this is exactly, I studied it. It's exactly the moment, the last moment that you can see every image separately. The next is cinema. And I've heard also that the first movie that was by the Fratelli Lumiere was in this speed, but the eyes were not used. People got dizzy, and but still. Yes, I have. This is a good idea to mount it on videos, but in the work in Rijeka, I did something else. It's more about the city and her memory. I have also works to express this that are in text, like Ingeborg, like invented biographies, which is like every few years I do a biography of myself, which is invented. It looks like inventor, but it's based only on projects that I did or facts in my life. And so they appear in text. Like I will read you maybe one sentence. Rivka Rinn was born in La Prairie County, Wisconsin, to a family related to Ida Van Eyck, the mother of Georgia O'Keeffe, and this is because before I did auto-portrait as Georgia O'Keeffe. So I give it this frame. She was raised in Europe, where her father was former student of Bauhaus in Weimar, collected a large, doesn't matter, I will not read you, but I have several biographies. You can see it, they exist in my website. And now I have one text. I did an artist book. The name of the artist book was La Maison de Van Gogh. La Maison de Van Gogh was La Maison of each artist, the origin of the artist. And in this artist book, you could I don't have the copy right now, but it's a little book like a cartolina, and you can open it and you see the card, the geographical part of Russia and Poland, where my mother is from Pinsk and my father is from Warsaw. You see this geographical map, and over it there are images of Italy. So we are a collage every single moment of our reality. And on the back of this image there was this. Maybe I will read it and then I will go to the images. This is really a text that I wrote many years ago, but with the years, each time I took another sentence and put it together with images of my work. But I think this explains perfectly what, or maybe it's a resume of what I said. It's short. As the eye glimpses over the map, as the journey glimpses over the distance, as the glimpse of the memory within the velocity, the identity of the place is melted. Every place, no place. I have worked with this sentence. Time distances and travel distances in one instant on the lens opening, which see that which the eye doesn't know it sees. Between Arles and Auvers, the road crosses the Certosa, its Florence of Florence. Between San Sepolcro and Urbino, the memory crosses Sobibor. Sobibor is the concentration camp where my father was. So we see always, our starting point is our education, our information, where we are coming from. When I am in Europe and I see snow, it means something else as for the European when they see snow. The memory courses will be ramified till Pinsk as blood veins, as a net of highways, railroads, and flight lines which write over the map distances which are not but time particles of an accelerated journey. From the place to the memory of the place itself. This exists in many works. So this is really condensed. I try to say because my work is based a lot of theory and so on, but now I will try and hope to share screen and show you. I chose about 20 images, mostly about landscape and so on, that because of technology we are able to see it. That like from the airplane and so on, all the transformation. I mean, I chose not necessarily the last works, but works that are very typical for me. Yes, this is a work. Uh, this work is the name is Angelo Rosso, and it's sea print, 1 meter on 1 meter 50. It's a motto. I have a lot of works with mottos that are just pushing the air, the energy of movement. Do you? Yes. Yes, this is, yeah, well, as I said, that I take photos in Viaggio, in airports, train station, and so on. I'm also very interested in the architecture of airports, architecture or even the design of aerodynamic machines or like motors. So I have a series of airport in the night. It's a light box. I Yes, I like to use light bulbs because of the neon of like to paint. I come from painting. It's like to paint uh, with the neon, and also, of course, the relationship to advertisement and to show that when you uh, uh, to use the same medium, um, but for art, for another message, let's say. Did another photo arrive? Okay, this is Invisible Cities. Uh, it's like arriving to a new town, as I said, and it's dedicated to Calvino. And this is just also the landscape that without technology you would not be able to see. And it has always for me a big mystery when I arrive to towns and I see the light and a little bit the streets and the abstractions of being beyond. Uh, this is all, or I'd send you more. Okay, so just to give you a glimpse, but please, to all the participants, have a look at my website. I have really a lot of works there. Um, yes, they have different. If you go to works, you see works with text, and you see work with text that say from the place to the memory of the place itself. Or I have one what I really love to do because I work with photography and I like to break the photos. I have hard time to accept only a photo and that's it. So I try to find other solution. One solution is of course to make the photo big, like 3 meter light box, 3 meter to 2 meter or something like this. Uh, that is kind of taking a little bit a photo that looks usually in the camera normal and suddenly it have an importance. I also have to say about photography that I believe it deeply that every photo doesn't matter what is a phenomenon. It's you have I put also this text in one of my exhibition. Uh, Watching an image so long until it absorbs a new meaning. And if you look at the image and you have time to look at it, you begin to discover it. I go from this. This is my okay. My But you are a genius. I always yes. This is yeah. Let's go to the works. One thing that I always say to my students, I always tell them that the photography tell us something about us that we didn't know before. And for years, I tried to exclude human being or people. I thought it's not about it, and I always thought it's like the chair of Andy Warhol, that the chair include also the person which is sitting or condemned to death on it. But what happens is that as I'm moving always with the camera, and I try to practice to be more spontaneous possible, not to manipulate the camera. I see that there are a lot of people. So lately I had this series that name is Moving to Painting of people behavior. eh, when you wait, for example, in Berlin, in Alexanderplatz, I have always the same point every time, and the people are moving in the same way. You have rituals how to behave in different places. So I decided to include people trying not to be very penetrant because sometimes I don't know them most of the time. And I don't care very much about definitions. But it's okay, that was not that. Yeah, it was nice to see you.